So today I am in Sudbury again, but at a different location. And the other different part is the snow. Let me show you. Look at the ice. Everything is slippery. And then one truck is getting loaded. Then I will get loaded. And then we have one more guy there waiting. So instead of getting loaded on a dock today, there is a ramp set up outside. Let me show you. So these guys have a ramp. Using that forklift. Bring it to this warehouse here in the white shed there, and then they pack it in these kind of packages, and then we carry these in the truck. So before I start talking about this B train, let me give you a couple of pointers here. First of all, whatever we are going to discuss about the B trains in this video is all according to the rules and regulations that apply in Ontario. Along with that, the weights that we are going to talk about is going to be in pounds. Wherever there is a conversion in kilograms, it will be mentioned in the video. First of all, there are two types of B trains. One is adjustable, another one is standard. As the name suggests, adjustable is something that you can increase or decrease in the size, and standard actually remains the same as it is. So for today, what we're gonna do is, since I only have adjustable at the moment, so we will dig into more about how we can work around with an adjustable B train. Let's first talk about the length of an adjustable B train. Length is a key factor, as there is a regulation in Ontario that when you are driving a B train, the entire length of your B train should not be more than 82.5 feet. Now, when your truck is connected with the B train, the length comes up to be 80 feet, totally depending on the positioning of the fifth wheel. So the key point here to remember is, whenever you are trying to drive a B train, make sure your fifth wheel is positioned in a way that the entire length of the B train doesn't exceed 82.5 feet. Now that we understand the allowable length of the B train in Ontario, let's look into what components does the B train has. First of all, the B train is considered of three major components, starting from your truck and the lead and the pup. Now, the lead is the container or trailer that is connected to your truck, and pup is the container or trailer that is connected to the lead. Now the question is, how would you understand which one is the lead and which one is the pup when they are disconnected sitting in the yard and you get a task to connect your lead and pup with the truck? So the best way to understand this is, ideally there are two fifth wheel connections in a B train. One is between the truck and the lead, and the other one is between the lead and the pup. So the first connection with the fifth wheel between your truck and the lead is quite understandable. We all know we have a fifth wheel connected to our truck. The second connection is lead and the pup. So the lead trailer always has a fifth wheel connected to it by default. That's how you can figure out that it's the lead trailer, which will end up connecting to a pup, because pup doesn't have a fifth wheel. Now that was all about the major components of a B train that we need to understand before we start operating one. Let's get into what is actually the allowable axle weight when it comes to B trains. In order to understand the allowable axle weight, we must first understand how many axles there are in a B train. There are ideally 4 axles in a B train, which are the steer, drive, tandem, and the tridem. All these axles have some allowance weight when it comes to operating in Ontario. Now, the maximum allowed gross weight in Ontario for B trains is 139,700 pounds, and this is how you can distribute it. On your steer axle, it's 12,100 pounds. The drive axle can have 39,700 pounds. The tandems can have 42,100 pounds, and for the tridems, the maximum weight is 49,000 pounds. Now that we are understanding the weight on each and every axle when it comes to B train, there also is something very important, is the spacing between the axles when it comes to tandems and tridems. So the spacing between the axles of tandems is ideally 6 feet between both of the axles. And when it comes to the tridems, the spacing between each axle is considered to be 5 feet in allowance with comparison to the Ontario rules and regulations. I hope this gave you a fair idea of understanding how to deal with weights when it comes to B trains. Now let's get into some do's and don'ts when it comes to driving a B train. First of all, you have to understand that every time you are going to drive a B train, the weight of the lead has to be more than the pup in order to maintain traction with the road and manage the balance of the B train while you're driving. Second point, never drive a B train without a lead and only with a pup. Again, this will cause you problems balancing the train on the road. Third point, never drive a B train without a pup. So in conclusion, you should have a lead and pup always on the train when you are driving one, and make sure that the weight of the lead is always either more or equal to the pup in order to balance it on the road. The last point here is whenever you are driving a truck with a lead only, always have the fifth wheel out. So make sure that your lead is not in the dock position. Again, it is in regards to balancing the train on the road and maintaining the traction so that you don't get into any severe accidents. There is a real bad snowstorm for the entire day. Before I get stuck, I should better get going. Now I got to my yard. I ended up stopping at a truck stop because the storm was so bad and heavy. I stopped there for an hour and now I am going to wind up my day. It was a long day. Anyways, thank you for watching me today, and before steering ahead, let's learn together and I will see you at the next day.